Hello everybody and welcome! In this video we'll be playing the +1 seasonal event. In this mode, whenever a unit is played, we spawn an additional +1 power copy of that unit at the end of the row. A few points to note for this event. The first being that the +1 copy is spawned, not played, so we do not get an extra deploy ability. And for that reason, we may prefer to use units that either have order or passive abilities, as both will give our spawned units some value above being a 1 power body on our board. And also note that the unit is not spawned until after the deploy effect is processed, so this may influence whether or not you wish to use units with the bonded keyword, as some will not gain any advantage from this. Of course, units with both bonded and passive abilities, however, can immediately come into effect. And as spawned units are always spawned in the rightmost position of the row, knowing where the +1 copy is going to appear may mean some units can immediately start to support them and keep them out of easy removal range. And finally, keep in mind that there are only 9 spaces in a row, and the +1 event may mean you're putting down 2 units a turn, so do be careful not to overclog your rows. And basically for this event, we want more units with either orders or passive abilities, and fewer deploy units. Anyway, let's see the deck we'll be using in this video. So, in this deck we'll be playing around with the new Patience units, as well as several other mages. And right off the bat I'll say there are different approaches that can be taken with this deck, and how you play will depend on how much control you think you'll need in your matches. We'll start with our Bronze Mages. The Bernard Student's order allows him to deal damage equal to his Patience value, which starts at 0 and goes up by 1 at the end of every turn until the order is used. The Aretusa Student is similar to the Bernard Student, except that she boosts an ally by her Patience value. And in the control side of things, we have the Cintrian Spellweaver. And as we often play a mage every turn, or sometimes use a spell to play a mage, we can have each Spellweaver gaining 1 or 2 charges per turn, which makes them very effective in control in this mode. And we'll actually be trying to replay our Bronze Mages quite a few times, and we have quite a few ways to do that. The first is Shani, who can summon a bronze human from our grave to her row. And note that both our Bernard and Aretusa students are row locked. So if we want damage, we play Shani in melee, and if we want boost, in ranged. And so our row choice may just depend on what's in our grave. And because Shani's order has cooldown, if we play her with 8 or more cards in hand, we do get an additional summon. In addition to Shani, we also have Offering, which can bring our students back from the grave, and finding 1 power units is pretty easy in this mode, so getting the death blow is quite simple. And note that Patience values are retained even when a unit is sent to the grave, so Patience does carry over. And also note that this special card damages a unit, which means we can hit our own 1 power units if we need to find targets. And Necromancy is much the same as Offering, except that it is also a spell, which helps the Cintrian Spellweaver. And keep in mind that Necromancy, Shani and Offering all apply Doomed to the unit that is being revived, and this could be important when considering the next cards. Teleportation, when played on our Bronze students, will result in them being replayed, and this will reset their power, so boosts will be lost, but more importantly a 1 power copy will go back to 4 power, as well as spawning an additional +1 copy. And keep in mind that when a Patience unit is replayed, it retains its Patience value. So if we say have a 1 power Bernard student with Patience 1, we could use this order to ping a +1 enemy, then use teleportation to get him back to 4 power with Patience 1, as well as putting down a new +1 power student with Patience 0. And note that replaying a unit does not remove from the battlefield, but this will clear any statuses, including Doomed. And another spell at our disposal is Practice Makes Perfect. This will shuffle one of our Bronze Mages into our deck for playing a random Bronze Mage from our deck, and boosting it by the number of Patience units we have played thus far. And this is another spell we'll use on our weakened mages, or those that have already used their orders, in order to replay them. And note that the shuffled mage will retain its Patience value when it's next played, and we can use this in the earlier rounds to put big patience units back in our deck to draw later. Alternatively, we can use this card in round 3 when we get a better boost from this effect, and hopefully have fewer cards in our deck, because if we have no bronze mages in deck and we play the spell to shuffle a mage into deck, then that is the unit that will be played. And so this is effectively like teleportation, but with an additional boost to our unit. And note however that this spell does remove the card from the battlefield, so if it is doomed, it will be banished. And because both teleportation and practice make perfect are spells which play mages, they will give each Spellweaver 2 charges, which shows how effective it can be for control in this mode. In addition to our bronze patience units, we also have the more interesting Gerhart of AL, and he'll create a player spell equal to his patience value. And note that we use 2 of the 4 provision spells in this deck, so Gerhart can create more copies of those. And again, this card also has very strong synergy with the Spellweavers, as he is a mage and each can play spells, so Gerhart can potentially add 5 charges to each Spellweaver on the turn that he's dropped. In support of our patience units, we have another new unit, Tissaia Gerhart, and she's also a patience unit, and her order will change how much patience is increased at the end of the turn. So if we were to use her order on the turn after she was played, she'd be at patience 2, and all patience cards would gain +2 instead of 1. And because we have 2 of her, we can use the other Tissaia next turn, by which point she'd have patience 4. So all other patience cards get +4, for a total of +6 over the 2 turns. And basically, if we can use both orders in sequential turns, the result results in a 3 times increase in whatever Tissaia's patience value is. So if the first one is at 1, then all the other patience units would gain 15 points. And note that this does only apply to patience units which have not yet used their orders. So obviously with this sort of exponential increase, you can see how great Tissaia can be for a long round, particularly if your opponent does not have much control. Although one of the options we can do is to play Tissaia in round 1, and then play until we have 4 cards left, even if our opponent has passed. In this way we can boost a host of patience mages, which we can then revive in round 3 with order abilities at about 20 power. And finally we have Tissaia Gerhart. And Tissaia will reset the order of all mages who've used the orders in this turn, in turn she's played. And so she's quite powerful when combined with cards like Tissaia and Gerhart. And I'd say probably her best use is if you can get Gerhart to patience 5, and that way you can use Casting Contest, which can reset the order of bronze patience mages, and that way you don't have to grade them so much. And I put an example in the video at the end. So the patience cards make up the core of this deck, and in my opinion are the most enjoyable. Unfortunately in this mode there are so many Scoia'tael Idarran clones and Northern Realms heavy control decks that I tend to default into relying on the Cintrian Spellweavers for their control, whereas I prefer to use the patience mages. So if you suspect your opponent is not running a great deal of control, you can lead off the patience cards like Tissaia in order to build up a lot of carryover for the later rounds. Although if you are against something like Scoia'tael Guerrilla Tactics, you do probably need to make sure use a heavy control playstyle. So lead with the Cintrian Spellweavers, and make sure they keep getting charges so they can keep destroying enemies. Anyway, we'll just finish with a quick flip through the rest of this deck. Inspired Zeal is a good combination with our revival cards like Shani, or we could use this on a +1 Spellweaver if we want to give it a little boost. And this is for boosting our +1 copies. And I'd say damage is more common than locks in this mode, unless you're against Northern Realms, but any of the boosting stratagems should be useful in this event. A spell card, as well as a tutor. So if you need more charges on a Spellweaver, you can play this into a card like Teleportation, and that way each will get 3 charges. And I include Scorch here as tech against Idarran, and there's also a demonstration in one of the matches. It also happens to be a spell card, so it actually fits the theme of this deck quite nicely anyway. Donimirs for protecting cards like Letitia. And Yen's another great form of control here, particularly in combination with Spellweavers, as they can help set up multiple targets. Margarita Loantil is a double locking card. And Sabrina Galivasig is very powerful in this event, as she'll spawn a +1 copy when played, and so if one is killed, both will die, and they'll do 4 damage to all units in an enemy row. And Sabrina is usually the best counter to enemy engines, for example our Spellweaver. Another spell card, another counter to Idarran. And if Spellweaver's on the field, using a Neuromancy to tutor this will give each +2 charges and destroy all 1 power Idarran. And the Arator's Adept is a great engine for this mode with all our patience units. And each one will be boosted by 1 for each time a patience unit is triggered. So if we play her after having just played a patience unit, each will gain +2 at the end of the turn. So that's our deck. And as always, the link to the deck list is below in the video description. Now, let's see how this deck plays.
Rules are for those who would otherwise incinerate themselves.
Ho ho, I sense trouble.
Yes.
Blood de Valhalla!
Nadovesave.
Your wish, my duty.
Wager I can cast run with me foot.
Power, unfettered, corrupts both body and mind.
Rubbish in, rubbish out, they say. Pass and forget. Not I. How did I fare, Mistress Letitia? Well this time, yes?
Lady Margarita told us of this. Folks say we live like princesses. If only they knew. I shall remain neutral in the matter. This is vital.
You've met your match, puppet!
There'll be nothing to pick up when I'm done with you.
drink with our forefathers!
Power, unfettered, corrupts both body and mind.
I suppose. And the end.
Mind your words, and who you address, and how you address them.
Wager I can cast from with me foot.
A golden dragon!
As you wish, my lady.
Send as many lackeys as you like. I'll send them all back in pieces.
We need sleep. Ugh. Another test. So soon.
Bless us, great lady of the wide seas under depths.
A band of traitors who sold their souls to kings.
Nadovesaveg.
You think this is a storm? Then you know nothing.
Ever danced with a daemon in the light of the full moon?
I am here to lend a helping hand.
War. Severed limbs, blood, and guts.
Rubbish in, rubbish out, they say. Pass and forget. Not I!
Haven't got all day. Yes.
Dare start with me? The wild boar of the sea?
We need sleep. Ugh. Another test. So soon.
To arms! To arms! The foe is nigh!
Rubbish in, rubbish out, they say. Pass and forget. Not I!
We'll show yous how blood spilling's done!
We saw their cities, delicate as if woven from the morning mist.
How did I fare, Mistress Letitia? Well this time, yes?
Folks say we live like princesses. If only they knew!
Wilhelm, you're daft! Stop it!
There'll be nothing to pick up when I'm done with you. Black tu an emarva.
Thanks for the offer, but I prefer to create my own company. Yes, nothing quite like a nice messy dissection.
Hocus pocus. Bang. Kaboom. Shit, how'd that go?
I like you whether you like us or not. You'll never get my rhymes out of your heads. I like you whether you like us or not.
Rubbish in, rubbish out, they say. Pass and forget. Not I.
Keep your distance! Aim for their knobs!
So many of them, I'd have to aim to miss.
War. Severed limbs, blood, and guts.
Wager I can cast from with me foot. So, shall we warm up with a fire spell?
Are you fucking kidding me? Catnip instead of crowns?
Doubt I'll ever pay off these school loans.
Style, that's right. I like fighting with style.
Hocus pocus. Bang. Kaboom. Shit, how'd that go?
best yield now!
How did I fare, Mistress Letitia? Well this time, yes?
You're to clean up ahead of class.
Thanks for the offer, but I prefer to create my own company.
Wager I can cast run with me foot.
Reduced to ash! There'll be nothing left to bury! Keep close! Our magic shall protect you!
This dance, you will never forget. Doubt I'll ever pay off these school loans.
You've met your match, puppet.
Folks say we live like princesses. If only they knew!
There's a great deal to be learned from the Ancestor.
What can I do for you? Nadovesaveg.
You'd best yield now!
So, shall we warm up with a fire spell? Ha!
Thanks for the offer, but I prefer to create my own company. Yes, nothing quite like a nice messy dissection.
Do you see that? Anything alive would be dead now. Killer spell.
Nadu Vesaveg.
You played your hand. Now, allow me to retort.
Your wish, my duty.
Nes tedatu.
For the king!
Hocus pocus. Bang. Kaboom. Shit, how'd that go?
You played your hand. Now, allow me to retort.
The day is nigh when all shall behold my beauty.
Lady Margarita told us of this.
As you wish. Wager I can cast one with me foot.
We saw their cities, delicate as if woven from the morning mist.
Hocus pocus. Bang. Kaboom. Shit, how'd that go?
I'm a medic. I tend to know what I'm doing when I prescribe something.
As you command. I am here to lend a helping hand.
Well played, my friend.
Cunning play. With dignity. Gestures smooth yet restrained. What can I do for you?
If I must.
Your wish, my duty.
Hail, Kertzer!
Try them!
Wager I can cast one with me foot.
Can you smell it? Victory is on the wind.
You've met your match, puppet.
I like you whether you like it or not.
So, shall we warm up with a fire spell? Ha!
I'm coming for you.
Cunning play.
I'll do what I can.
Spells are a serious matter, to be undertaken proudly, with grace.
We tanned their black-clad hides at Sodden, we'll tan their black-clad hides again!
The day is nigh when all shall behold my beauty.
No one is born a mage. The vast majority lack even the potential.
Oh, bang, kaboom. Shit, how'd that go?
I'll gladly help, if I live to see it. Lady Margarita told us of this.
We need sleep. Ugh. Another test? So soon?
Lady Margarita told us of this.
Wager I can cast from with me foot.
Rubbish in, rubbish out, they say. Pass and forget. Not I.
Oh, Lady Margarita told us of this. Lady Margarita told us of this.
your words, and who you address, and how you address them.
You've met your match, puppet.
Cunning play.
Fall overboard and I'm not jumping in after you.
Severed limbs, blood,
Shall
and
we
guts.
warm up with a fire spell? Ha! Hocus pocus. Bang. Kaboom. Shit, how'd that go?
It's war. Severed limbs, blood, and guts.
You've met your match, puppet. Do you see that? Anything alive would be dead now. Killer spell.
Scrub this, scrub that, for fuck's sake, I'm sick of these chores.
The life of a source isn't a bed of roses, I tell you.
Wager I can cast one with me foot.
You've met your match, puppet.
We will not delay the coronation. The sooner the better.
Not without good reason. They call him the Stern. If the king demands a head, I'll give him yours.
You best yield now!
Temeria has yet to speak its last. Ship ahoy!
How did I fare, Mistress Letitia? Well this time, yes?
I am ready.
Elherzer.
Tread carefully, lest this semester be your last.
I'll defend the Duquesa to my dying breath.
Death and blood are spectres between us.